All right, heel elevated, rear foot elevated, hinge. So the reason we're doing this with the heel elevated is to make sure that we are able to create some stiffness in the foot, and also we're creating a co-contraction literally all the way up the chain. So we have the foot, the calf, the quad, the hamstring, the glute, everything kind of gets on fire together when we raise that heel up, and this can be really good for when we need to do high steps or anything where we need to be more explosive and a lot of control on one foot. So you are going to set up just like you would for a standard rear foot elevated split squat or deadlift. I'm not going to go through all of the basics of that. The only change here is that we're literally going to have that heel up off the ground. So it should be up off the ground like, you know, an inch, inch and a half, 2 inches. It doesn't have to be anything crazy, but it does not need to be touching the ground. Okay, so we're going to get in our standard setup right here. Exhale, stacked position, all the things, and then you are going to come up on your toe. Now be careful when you do this that you're not leaning all to one side or the other of your foot, and you may notice that that is kind of difficult. So you want to make sure that we are keeping pressure underneath that first and fifth met head. Okay, so that means underneath the base of your big toe and underneath the base of your pinky toe. Now from here, this is a hinge pattern, so the hips need to go back and we need to allow the glute to lengthen and open up. Okay, so we're not going down, that would be squat. This is hinge, we're going back. So you're going to raise your heel up, lots of nice good pressure on that first and fifth met head. Exhale, ribs down, zip from the bottom up, and then you're going to hinge backwards, making sure that we are really owning that hinge. We're letting the sacrum nutate, glute is opening up as we go back, and then you are going to come back up and forward. You could also put your hand on a long foam roller if you needed a little bit more balance, or you could do this with your hand on a wall just to make it a little less challenging balance-wise. But remember that you're hinging to open back, and then you're coming back forward. And if you are feeling really froggy, we can add a kettlebell in the other hand to this. So you're going to get set up like normal. I would pick up your kettlebell, and then I would go ahead and raise up on the toe. Again, really check in with where your pressure is. You want first and fifth met head. Exhale, get some core on. We're going to hinge back, let everything open up, and then come back up. Hinge back, let everything open up right here, and then you're going to come back up. You don't need a whole lot of weight on this one to make it hard. For reference, that's a 12-kilogram kettlebell. I don't think that I would use a 16 right now. So anyway, that is your heel elevated, rear foot elevated, single leg deadlift.